Learn from the mistakes of others. Once in the quiet town of Elmsville, nestled between rolling hills and ancient forests, lived a young man named Oliver Hart. He was ambitious, curious, and filled with dreams of success. Raised by his grandmother, who often told him stories filled with wisdom, Oliver had heard one phrase countless times: "Learn from the mistakes of others, my boy. Life is too short to make them all yourself." But like many young men with dreams in their eyes and fire in their hearts, Oliver often shrugged off advice, believing that he had to learn everything his way. After finishing school, Oliver opened a small tech startup. He was good at coding and full of ideas, but he lacked experience in business. His grandmother warned him, "Don't ignore the mistakes of those who walked this path before you. Study them." But Oliver was confident. He believed that if he worked hard enough, he wouldn't fail. In the early months, things went well. He got a few local clients and even received praise in the community newsletter. Encouraged by early success, he hired a few employees, rented a bigger office, and borrowed a large sum of money to expand quickly. What Oliver didn't realize was that many startups had taken the same path and failed. Rapid expansion without a solid foundation had ruined countless businesses before him. But he hadn't taken the time to learn from those stories. Within a year, things began to crumble. The new clients he expected didn't come. The employees were inexperienced, and the large loans became heavy burdens. His dream began to fall apart. One evening, sitting alone in his office, surrounded by unopened bills and silent computers, Oliver finally broke down. He remembered the stories his grandmother used to tell, stories of entrepreneurs, explorers, and dreamers who had all made avoidable mistakes. Had he just listened, maybe he would have avoided the same fate. He closed the business a few months later, filled with regret, but also a strange sense of clarity. The lesson had been painful, but it was clear. The mistakes of others are not just stories. They are warnings, guides, and road signs. Determined not to give up, Oliver took a break and began to study. He read biographies, listened to interviews, and even talked to failed and successful business owners. Slowly, he began to understand where he went wrong and how others had avoided the same traps. 2 years later, Oliver returned to the world of startups. This time, he started small, built slow, and focused on long-term sustainability. He kept a journal where he wrote lessons he learned from others, mistakes they made and how they overcame them. His second business didn't become a million-dollar company overnight, but it grew steadily. More importantly, it survived. And every time he faced a difficult decision, he remembered his grandmother's words, "Learn from the mistakes of others." Years later, Oliver began mentoring young entrepreneurs. To each one, he told his story, not to scare them, but to help them avoid the same mistakes. And in every story he shared, he reminded them of the one lesson that changed his life. The wisest people are not the ones who make no mistakes, but the ones who learn from the mistakes of others. Let me know if you'd like this in a PDF or want a simplified version.